Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. Gentleman's time has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Correa.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the witnesses for being here today. And Stefan, I just want to say I did a lot of work with the California DAs Association when I was in the state legislature. So in the few seconds that I have, few minutes, I'm going to ask you, start out with quick questions from you. First of all, your approach was, this should not be a partisan issue. This is about victims. This is about protecting our community. So first question to you is, would we be better off funding or defunding the FBI? Get rid of the FBI?
Sir, we need excellent institutions. And,
like the FBI.
And in San Diego, we
Thank
work
you very
with the
much.
FBI.
There have been some people in this House that have advocated for that. Second of all, I want to ask you specifically, in San Diego, you're the district attorney in San Diego. I'm very good friends with our Orange County DA, Todd Spitzer. So right now, you said in California, $970 is the threshold. Anything below that is a misdemeanor, anything above that is a felony, is that correct?
$950, yes.
$950.
Yes. And no matter how many times.
So it doesn't aggregate. So you go in every day and do 949, 949, 949. It's still a misdemeanor. Has there been any discussions with our legislators in California to change that? So maybe there's an issue of aggregation there that could be taken into consideration?
There have been discussions, but it has to go back into a proposition before the voters.
So this was a proposition passed by the California voters, not the legislature itself.
That's right, sir.
Okay. This is interesting. So let's see what we can do when it comes to that issue moving forward. Mr. Glenn, you're president of Home Depot. Yes? One of my favorite toy stores. One of my favorite toy stores.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you put in self-checkout counters now. Has that helped or hurt the situation in any way?
Thank you for the question. I don't know that there's been any data that ties self-checkout to organized retail crime. It is certainly something that we are keeping an eye on and looking at the data, but we don't see the type of crime that we're talking about are these more broad-based, aggressive rollouts of carts full of product, coming in and breaking open the locking containers and just swiping the shelves and running out the door with 10, 12 individuals. That's what we see as more the organized retail crime in our stores.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Agoda, good to see you, ma'am. I wanted to, you represent essentially the shopping centers and the challenges that we have with a lot of these shopping centers, your anchor tenants, so to speak, moving out, closing down because of the losses in some cases. So question is, who are the victims here? Who suffers when you have a major shopping center losing tenants?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question. ICSC represents retail facilities of all shapes and sizes in all regions of the country, from large enclosed malls to grocery-anchored centers and everything in between. And you're right, we have seen an unusual amount of store closures in geographic areas that have experienced high numbers of ORC cases. And when stores start closing due to the effects of ORC, we see loss of jobs, we see loss of state and local sales tax generated, and loss of property tax generated, and of course it's a blight on the community. A single grocery store typically creates $2.4 million in annual state and local sales tax and has an average of 133 jobs. And really, if store closings start increasing as a result of ORC, not only will sales and property tax collection decrease, schools and first responders will be the ones that suffer most. So in addition to that shopper experience being diminished, you're going to see effects on other public services as well.
So not just a loss directly to a retailer, but really to the whole community in terms of tax revenue, the ability to support local services. And like you said, in my district right now, I see it every day. Shopping centers losing major tenants, and the whole area just does not look well, and our challenge is trying to bring in retail to support that community. But I want to thank you all, thank all of you for being here today. And Ms. Stevens, I'd like to have a sidebar with you later on, and Mr. Glenn with you as well. Thank you, and Mr. Chair, I'm out of time.
The gentleman yields back.